It's been a tough week, hasn't it?
Yeah.
First we had that awful midair collision in D.C.
Yeah.
And now this just devastating Learjet crash in Philadelphia near the Roosevelt Mall.
Right.
7 people dead.
Yeah.
22 injured.
Uh-huh.
And, the story itself just makes it even more heartbreaking.
Oh, absolutely.
This Learjet was on a medevac mission.
Yeah, it was a medevac flight bringing a young girl home from the U.S. back to Mexico.
Back home to Mexico with her mother.
After receiving life-saving treatment here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A journey that was supposed to be, about healing, ending this way.
It's just awful.
So today, we're going to be taking a deep dive into what we know so far about this crash.
Right.
And we're going to be focusing on the information and that video footage released at the NTSB.
Right.
And we'll also talk about what makes this particular crash noteworthy.
Yeah, and that NTSB footage it's haunting. They shot it just a day after the crash.
Uh-huh.
And it really captures that stark reality of the scene. Yeah. Just deserted streets, debris scattered all over the place, cars with their windows blown out a gaping hole where the plane hit.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost surreal, especially when you think about it happening right next to
a busy shopping mall.
Yeah.
It's just, it really kind of drives home the suddenness of it all, doesn't it? Like, 1 minute, life is normal.
Yeah.
And then the next,
everything changes.
Everything changes. But even in the face of this tragedy, the NTSB has been hard at work.
Yeah.
Gathering evidence.
Yeah.
They've recovered 2 key pieces of the puzzle so far.
Right.
The cockpit voice recorder, or CVR, and the plane's enhanced ground proximity warning system.
Yeah.
Or EGPWS.
The EGPWS,
So explain to me, like, for people who don't know what these are.
Yeah, well, they're essentially an investigator's best friends when it comes to these kind of events.
Yeah.
The CVR, it's like an audio snapshot of what was happening in the cockpit. It captures the pilot's conversations, any alarms, any sounds from inside the aircraft.
Yeah.
Really gives you a sense of what was happening in those final moments. Oh. And then you have the EGPWS, which is specifically designed to prevent these kinds of terrain collisions.
Oh.
So it should provide crucial information about the plane's altitude, position, how close it was to the ground, all of that.
It's amazing how investigators can put together what happened from those little devices.
It is.
It's almost like they're doing forensics, but for the sky.
Yeah, it really is.
It's fascinating.
And it's incredible. They actually found the CVR 8 feet below the impact point.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both the CVR and the EGPWS, they're being analyzed right now at the NTSB lab in D.C.
Okay.
And hopefully that data will shed some light on what caused this to happen.
Now, one element that we can't really ignore in this crash is the fuel.
The fuel, right.
According to a spokesperson from Jet Air Ambulance, the plane was loaded with jet fuel that's highly flammable. So that explains why there were fires immediately.
Yeah. Jet fuel is incredibly volatile.
Oh, yeah.
It ignites easily and burns very intensely. So it creates some really unique challenges.
Oh, yeah.
For first responders and investigators.
And it definitely made the situation way more intense.
Yeah.
But thankfully, the Philadelphia Fire Department,
yeah, they were great.
They responded so quickly.
Absolutely.
And got those flames under control.
Yeah, and that's no easy feat with a jet fuel fire.
Yeah, their response was really commendable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of expertise, the Jet Air Ambulance spokesperson also highlighted the experience of both the pilot and co-pilot.
Yes, very experienced. Described them as seasoned professionals with tons of missions under their belts.
Yeah.
This just goes to show that even with years of experience, things can still go wrong.
It's a humbling reminder, isn't it?
It is.
That aviation, for all of its advancements, still has inherent risks.
Yeah.
It really makes you realize how many things have to go right for a flight to be successful.
Yeah. It's a complex system with a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
And sometimes those parts fail.
Yeah.
Or unexpected things happen. That's why these investigations are so important.
Yeah.
The goal isn't to point fingers or place blame, but to really understand what happened, the sequence of events, and any factors that contributed.
And ultimately to learn from those mistakes.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't happen again.
Exactly. And hopefully prevent them from happening again.
Yeah.
Was it a mechanical issue, human error, weather conditions, or, a combination of factors?
Yeah.
those are the questions the NTSB is going to be meticulously trying to answer.
It really makes you appreciate the complexity of these investigations.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just about looking at the wreckage, you know.
Right.
It's analyzing flight data,
Yeah.
radar records, weather reports,
Interviewing witnesses.
interviewing witnesses.
Yeah, it's really like putting together a giant, intricate puzzle.
Yeah, and it's a puzzle that takes time to solve.
Oh, absolutely.
These investigations.
Yeah, they're very thorough.
They're so thorough.
And they involve so many experts.
Yeah.
From engineers and pilots to meteorologists and human factor specialists.
Wow.
You know, it's a slow and deliberate process, but it's crucial for getting to the truth and ensuring that safety improvements are made.
Yeah, we need to be patient and let the investigators do their work.
Right.
It's easy to get caught up in the,
The immediacy
of the news cycle.
Yeah.
But these investigations can take months, sometimes even years.
Sometimes years.
To complete.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Accuracy and thoroughness are paramount.
Yeah. And as we wait for the NTSB to uncover the facts, I think it's, so important to remember the human cost of this tragedy. 7 lives were lost.
Yeah. Each
representing a unique individual.
Right.
With their own hopes and dreams and loved ones left behind.
Absolutely.
Their stories should not be forgotten.
Yeah.
Amidst all the technical details of the investigation.
Their stories are really at the heart of this.
Yeah, absolutely. The impact of this crash ripples far beyond the immediate victims.
Yeah.
It affects families, friends, the community as a whole.
The community as a whole, absolutely.
It also forces us, I think, to grapple with the inherent risks of air travel.
That's right.
It's something we often take for granted.
Yeah.
The ability to fly from one place to another.
Yeah, quickly, efficiently.
So quickly and efficiently.
Yeah.
But incidents like this remind us that there are always risks involved.
Yeah,
no matter how advanced our technology or training may be.
Exactly.
And it begs the question, how do we as a society reconcile this inherent risk with our desire for safe and convenient transportation?
Right. How do we balance those two?
How do we balance those two things?
The need for innovation and progress, but also the paramount importance of safety.
Yeah, those are some really complex questions.
They are.
Without any easy answers.
Yeah, but I think it starts with acknowledging the risks, understanding the factors that contribute to accidents, and continuing to invest in research, technology, and training aimed at improving safety.
Yeah, it's also about fostering a culture of safety.
A culture of safety.
At every level of the aviation industry.
Right.
From the pilots and the mechanics to the airlines and the regulators.
Yeah, everyone has a role to play.
Everyone has a role to play in ensuring that air travel is safe.
And that responsibility extends beyond just the industry itself.
Yeah.
Passengers have a role to play too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Following safety regulations, being aware of their surroundings, speaking up if they see something.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem right.
Yeah, safety is a shared responsibility.
Absolutely. It's a collective effort.
It is. And as we continue to learn more about the Philadelphia crash, I think it's essential to view it not just as an isolated incident, but as an opportunity to reflect on the broader challenges and responsibilities associated with aviation safety.
I couldn't agree more. Every accident, no matter how tragic, offers valuable lessons that can help us improve and prevent similar incidents from happening again.
It's about turning sorrow into action.
Exactly.
Using these moments of collective grief as a catalyst for positive change.
That's right. We owe it to the victims and their families to ensure that their loss leads to meaningful improvements in aviation safety.
Yeah.
It's the only way we can truly honor their memory.
And it's a way to ensure that journeys meant for healing, like the one that young girl from Mexico was on, have a chance to reach their intended destination.
It's a powerful reminder, of why we do what we do, why these investigations are so important.
Yeah.
They're not just about finding answers.
Right.
They're about preventing future tragedies and making the skies safer for everyone.
It really underscores how interconnected it all is, doesn't it?
Yeah.
From the engineers who design the aircraft to the air traffic controllers guiding them, the maintenance crews who keep them running, the pilots who command them.
Yeah.
Everyone plays a vital role.
Absolutely.
It's a huge responsibility.
It is.
And one we can't afford to take lightly.
No.
As we've been talking about, even with the best technology and the most experienced professionals out there, unforeseen circumstances can still happen.
Yeah, they can. And that's why ongoing research and development is so critical.
Yeah.
We always need to be,
pushing the boundaries.
Pushing the boundaries.
Yeah.
Exploring new technologies, refining procedures.
To mitigate those risks.
Exactly.
It's this continuous process of improvement, isn't it?
It is.
Always striving for that extra layer of protection.
Yeah.
That added margin of safety.
That's right. And it's important to remember that those advancements don't just happen,
out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
They require collaboration.
Right.
Communication. Willingness to learn from both successes and failures.
Absolutely. It's about creating a culture of transparency and accountability.
Yeah.
Where everyone feels empowered to speak up.
Yeah.
If they see something that could compromise safety.
If something doesn't feel right, you need to say something.
That's the key, isn't it?
It is.
A culture where safety is truly paramount.
Right.
Where it's not just a box to be checked.
Well, yeah. That's got to be a core value.
But a core value embedded in every aspect
Yeah.
of the aviation industry.
100%.
So as we wrap up our deep dive today,
Okay.
I think it's important to acknowledge the emotional weight of these events.
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in the technical details.
It is.
But we can never lose sight of the human toll.
Absolutely.
Behind every statistic, every data point.
Yeah.
There are real people with families and loved ones.
Real people.
Whose lives are forever changed by these tragedies.
Yeah.
And for those listening who may be feeling anxious about flying after hearing about these crashes, it's important to remember that statistically, air travel remains one of the safest modes of transportation.
Absolutely.
These incidents, while tragic, are thankfully rare.
Very rare.
But that being said,
Yeah.
it's also important to be informed.
Yeah, to be aware.
And aware.
Yeah.
Understanding the risks.
Right.
Knowing your rights as a passenger. And being prepared for emergencies.
Be prepared, yeah.
Can go a long way toward alleviating anxiety and empowering you to make informed decisions about air travel.
That's right.
Ultimately, I think it comes down to finding a balance, between respecting the inherent risks of aviation and appreciating the incredible technological feat that allows us to soar through the skies.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of ground today, haven't we?
We have.
From the details of the Philadelphia crash to the broader questions surrounding aviation safety.
It's been a good conversation.
But I think the most important takeaway is the enduring human element.
Absolutely.
The lives lost, the families impacted. And the collective responsibility we all share. To make air travel as safe as possible.
100%.
And as the NTSB continues its investigation, let's hope that the insights gained from this tragedy will lead to meaningful changes and prevent similar incidents from happening in the future.
Yeah, we owe that to the victims and their families.
It's a commitment.
It is.
To learning, adapting, and continuously striving for a safer tomorrow.
That's it.
And to our listeners, we encourage you to continue this conversation.
Absolutely.
Stay informed.
Yeah.
And advocate for a future where journeys meant for healing always reach their destination.
That's a great way to put it.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.